check in with Jessamine McIntyre on the sidelines and hear from head coach Jake Dickert. Now let's go live to SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Matt Chazanow.
For the 7th straight full year, the Cougs are in a bowl game. It's the LA Bowl here in SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, which is Los Angeles and the home of the Super Bowl last year where the Rams and the Chargers play. And AB, it's a wildly impressive 70,000-seat facility. Cougs are getting warmed up right half of the field. Fresno State in their almost fire engine red from head to toe on the left half of the field. AB, it's a chance to get to 8 wins. It's a chance for another bowl victory here for Washington State football. Just bowl every year.
Yeah, and you talk about how special that is. And, you know, very candidly, I was a part of, you know, some teams that didn't make bowl games. And that was a tough stretch for Washington State football. And you got to really appreciate these opportunities to be playing football in December and get practices in December and what it means to be on a national stage in, like you said, an incredible facility. You know, the Cougs are going to be on ABC playing a great Fresno State team. It got a lot of eyeballs on them, got extra practices. All those things matter so much to this program to continue, building and growing to something special under Jake Dickert.
These kids will never forget it. It's been a big week. It's big for recruiting, and it's time now for Alex Brink's Keys to the Game, brought to you by Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. There's a lot of noise about what bowl games mean. There are opt-outs. You got Deion Henley out. You got transfers. You got the portal. You have coaches leaving this time of year, but also you got a chance to beat a Fresno State team that's won a lot of ball games this year. They're 9-4. What are the keys to it?
Well, you talk about, kind of transfers, and then the flip side of that of guys staying. And so big part to me was Brennan Jackson and R.J. Stone both committing to come back and be Cougs and stay in the crimson and gray, and they are going to matter so much in this game. And the reason why is that Jake Haener, the all-Mountain West quarterback from Fresno State, is a fantastic football player. You know I love great quarterback play, and I will talk a lot about Jake Haener. He is a special player, but he is not a guy that's going to beat you with his legs. He wants to stay in the pocket and deliver the football. If you can get him off his spot, if the defensive line for Washington State, particularly Jackson and Stone, can get home and make Haener uncomfortable, it will be a tougher day for him. If he's able to sit in the pocket and deliver, he will dice you up. And so that's super important. That was my number one key, that you get to Jake Haener and make him uncomfortable. And the second key on the offensive side for Washington State is that they have to establish the run. Nakia Watson has been so good throughout the back half of this season, so important to this team and so important to this offense to find consistency. And with changes at the coordinator position with Eric Morris, the loss of Donovan Ollie and Deshaun Stribling into the transfer portal, I think Watson's going to be crucial to this. And part of that is because this defense for Fresno State has struggled against the run. They've given up over 87 yards rushing in every game this year. And for Washington State, anytime they rush for more than 75 yards, they're 5-1. And so I think Nakia Watson, if he comes out and establishes the run, takes some pressure off of Cam Ward, and you got a chance to move the football against this Fresno State defense.
Yeah, the Cougs have only lost twice when Watson was fully healthy. They're 7-5. They lost to the Ducks and they lost to the Huskies in the Apple Cup. When Nakia Watson has been good to go, the Cougar offense generally has scored about 32 points a game.
Yeah, and to me, some of that is there's balance between the run and the pass. It takes some pressure off the offensive line to just have to drop back and protect. He's a great pass protector, so he helps you in the pass game. He's also a fantastic receiver out of the backfield. He's had back-to-back games with a rushing TD and a receiving TD. He's had 3 of those games on the year if you count that Wisconsin game. So he's a guy that can make an impact out of the backfield catching the football as well, which again plays into this conversation about the inexperience the Cougs are going to have at receiver, losing Ollie and Stribling.
Some late breaking news down on the Washington State sideline. We'll take a break, send it down to Jess McIntyre on this SoFi Matrix turf surface, as they call it. It is a synthetic surface here in Los Angeles, the Matrix turf, all very futuristic.
Yeah, I love it.
Here in LA. We'll take a break. It's the LA Bowl. Cougs and Fresno State Bulldogs coming your way.
Whenever I see somebody purchasing something with their WSU card, I always like to give them a go Cougs. It brings me back to when I was in Pullman.
From the rolling hills of the Palouse to keys jingling before every kickoff, there's something special about being a Coug. That's why BECU created the WSU credit and debit cards. It's just one more way to show pride for a place we all call home. Grab your WSU card today. BECU, power in people. Membership required. Restrictions apply. Call 800-233-2328 for details about credit costs and terms. Federally insured by NCUA. Member compensated for participation.
RV buyers, it's a fact. Valley RV Supercenter is America's #1 volume Jayco store. And as their volume leader, Jayco keeps them supplied with all the models. Let's just say they have what you're looking for. Jayco Class A, B, and C motorhomes, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and travel trailers, including the best-selling trailer in the world since 2005, the Jayco J-Flight. And they all come with the best warranty in the industry. Go see them in Kent or visit ValleyRVSupercenter.com, where journeys begin.
Hi, this is Hamza Abdullah.
Throws left side, it's intercepted. Right. Washington State has the football. Hamza Abdullah.
And you're listening to the Washington State Sports Network.
A lot goes into Washington State athletes reaching peak performance for game day, including the right nutrition. At Wilbur Ellis, we know that healthy crop performance requires the same attention to nutrition as an athlete. That's why we use benchmark data points to maximize crop productivity through nutrient efficiency. For 100 years, family-owned Wilbur Ellis has been partnering with Washington's farmers to grow healthier crops. That is the winning ag experience for Cougar Nation, locally provided by Wilbur Ellis.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics.
For this week's football matchup against Fresno State,
smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 85 critical scores of 90-plus points. Visit them at their Walla Walla tasting room or at CanoeRidgeVineyard.com. Go Cougs!
Time for a look at the Pullman Regional Hospital Injury Report. As the official hospital of Washington State University Athletics, Pullman Regional Hospital takes care of Cougs.
Back here in the SoFi Stadium where the Rams and Chargers play, typically on Sundays. There are some Saturday NFL games going on around the league, but tomorrow the Chargers will kick it off here today. Cougs and Fresno State Bulldogs here in L.A. Let's send it down to this field surface where Jess is fighting through a little bit of technical difficulty. We'll try to get Jess for the latest injury update for the Cougs and the Bulldogs. What do you have? There she is. Jess is trying.
I do apologize that it is a little bit choppy down here, but I'll give you what I can see in the watch.
Now we lost Jess here for just a moment. It's cutting in and out. What we could do, AB, is let's do this because there's some late-breaking rumors and info that a couple of key contributors for the Cougs on D are out. Shaw Smith-Wade apparently is not suiting up for this one, and nor is Sam Lockett. Now, Lockett got injured this week in practice. He's out for this game. The Shaw Smith-Wade we knew was banged up, but that's a little bit of a surprise, maybe a big surprise, and it could lead to a lot of playing time for Javen Robinson and Cam Lampkin.
Yeah, and you got two guys, Lampkin, who's, he's had some experience to transfer from Utah State, so it's good to get him out. It would be good to get him in the mix regardless. Javen Robinson is a special player out of Florida, just a true freshman. Coaches love him, love his confidence, his swagger about him, and so it would be fun to see him on the field, albeit if it's because Shaw Smith-Wade is out, obviously that's going to be disappointing for Jake Dickert and his defense playing against a really talented Fresno State offense.
So the Cougs take on the Bulldogs. We'll get the head coach, Jake Dickert, involved in this broadcast, and Luke Howlett, and back in the U.S. Bank Network studios, it's the Cougs against the Fresno State Bulldogs. 7-1 in the Mountain West. Mountain West champs. They just won at Boise 28-16 in what was the Mountain West title game. Cougs are 7-5 with a 4-5 pack record. We'll take a break and continue pregame here from L.A.
And that's another double tall latte. As a Coug, you know that's blasphemy. But when I use my WSU Athletics debit card from Gisa Credit Union to buy anything, like coffee, Gisa makes a donation to the Cougar Athletic Fund. And that's another new pair of bucks. Cougar first down. Do something else when you use your WSU Athletics debit. Kickoff keys? Really?
Get your card at Gisa.com/WSU.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital is being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve health care and health outcomes for all of us. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Hey, this is Hussein Abdullah. You're listening to Washington State football.
Gotta love it, baby.
Holiday Inn Express and Suites Pullman is just a short drive from the WSU campus. Centrally located to restaurants and shopping, they've got you covered for all your lodging needs with their spacious rooms, complimentary hot breakfast, a cozy outdoor patio, a gift shop for all your Cougar gear needs, and the friendliest staff in town to make you feel right at home. Visit hiexpress.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Stay smart, stay Holiday Inn Express and Suites. Coug owned and Coug managed.
Alliant Employee Benefits is the Inland Northwest leader in employee benefit consulting and brokerage. Alliant is a difference maker, providing employee benefit solutions and problem solving while helping companies grow and protect their business. Alliant keeps its clients on the forefront of the benefit industry's constant evolution while improving the benefits experience for employees through better health outcomes and more cost-effective care. Give Alliant a call and see what they can do for you.
Before kick, let's get the pregame thoughts of head coach Jake Dickert, presented by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Earn bragging rights at Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington, with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest. Yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. Now, with Coach, here's Matt Chazanow.
Coach, here we are in SoFi Stadium for the LA Bowl. It's been as busy a week as you could possibly imagine, but you're in one of the newest, coolest venues in the world for athletics anywhere. I mean, it's a pretty cool experience for the kids, for anybody. This is going to be great.
This is the mecca of football, one of them. You know, to say they just had the Super Bowl here. This is an entertainment district, not just a stadium. And we have so many Cougs that are from LA in this area that just couldn't be more fired up to be here today. So our guys are ready to play. They're excited to play, and they can't wait to go out there and finish the 2022 season.
It's been as busy a week as there could be. You know, you've had news off the field, you've had news on the field. You're trying to get prepped for a really good Fresno team. How has this week been? I mean, you're trying to get locked in here to play the Bulldogs. How's the week been for you, for Cougar football? What's it been like down there in Southern California?
Well, it's been wearing a ton of hats, Chaz. You know, obviously head coach and recruiting and trying to sign the best future for our football program, as well as investing every ounce of what I got into this 22 class and these 13 seniors that deserve, you know, to go out on the highest of notes, you know, and then putting on the third hat of being the defensive coordinator this week, setting the game plan, calling the plays, you know, excited to do that. I love coaching. I love getting my hands dirty. I've gotten a chance to go back in the linebacker room and, you know, obviously coach a couple guys that haven't played a bunch this year. So we're going to get out there. We're going to play fast. We're going to keep it simple. And like I said, my focus right now today is just finishing out this season the right way, and a process that started all the way back in January, and hopefully be ending the season as champions.
Part of the deal this game with linebackers is an all-American level talent is going to have a headset on, right? That's part of the story on the sideline there. Deion Henley's taking what kind of role? What's that going to be like? And what's that mean for you as a DC and the linebackers group? What's going on there?
Yeah, I think I'm going to stop short of giving him a headset. He wanted to call some plays as we go throughout the thing there, but he's an energy guy, and the biggest thing is I can't even put into words the impact that Deion Henley has had on me and our program in a short 11 months. And that's the type of person he is, and I think it really shows, you know, the high character that he has, and this is home for him. And he chose Washington State because it was family, and it was well over Flash. And I think that's the type of person he is, to sit here and coach out the bowl game and kind of help me through it.
We're here with Coach Dickert before the LA Bowl against the Fresno State Bulldogs. You coached against Jeff Tedford when you were at Wyoming for a few years. He had some successful years at Fresno. He was there 3 years and then took a couple of years off for health. Now he's back. 2 of his years were really good. One of them, he won 4 games. The other 2 were good. Well, what do you know about Jeff Tedford and his scheme and what you're up against?
Well, I just think anytime you think of a Coach Tedford coach team, you think of toughness, you think of multiplicity, you think of a good defense and a well-rounded team that's going to be physical for 60 minutes. And they're very multiple on offense. And obviously Jake Haener is one of the best quarterbacks, I believe, in the country. If he didn't get injured in the middle of the season, I think you're looking at a team that's probably in the top 25 in the country, because when he was out there, they flat out dominated most games. And, Oregon State came back to beat them late. So it's one of those things where this is a tall order, a tough challenge. Their team has probably more consistency than ours over the last couple of weeks. But at the end of the day, when that ball's kicked off, it's about execution. It's about energy. It's about having a little fun out there. We earn this as a reward. I've been telling our guys that all the time. And let's go out there together and put our final stamp on what this team is.
What's the locker room like right now with regard to the coordinators that have changed roles, right? You got Eric Morris in Denton, Texas now with North Texas. You got Brian Ward in Tempe, AJ Cooper in Tempe. What's the locker room like? What are these guys, the guys who are there in LA getting prepped for this game? Who are they looking up to? What's communication like? What's that? How has that affected you?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we don't look in the rearview mirror. We look out the windshield, and we're taking one step at a time. We're moving forward. There's real relationships that are created between coach and player that I fully recognize. But at the end of the day, there's a plan in place, and change is inevitable in this world. And I've been telling our guys, there's sometimes you get a new coach, you love the new personality, you learn some new things, and you keep moving. But at the end of the day, leaders lead in these moments. In these adverse times, through change, through everything, leaders lead. And we've been relying on Armani Marsh and RJ Stone and Brennan Jackson and Connor Gomness and Lincoln Victor. Those have been our core guys. And Cam Ward, is ready to go out there and prove who he is with a little more weight on his shoulders and have an ability to call a couple more plays and have an influence on our offense. So we've always been a players-led team. I've emphasized that really throughout the journey, and now it's time for them to take the reins and let's get this puppy across the finish line before we reload for next season. So we don't have a ton of time left in this interview, and this next question really does not lend to brevity, but you're dealing with you're coaching, you've got recruiting going on in Southern California. You've got a kind of a late departure from coordinators and coaches and all this. And then you find out off the field the tragic passing of Coach Leach, right? And I don't know how well you personally, if you did personally know Coach, but the Cougar world was rocked by that. To what degree have you become aware of what that legacy means, and how have you processed that with the guys there? I think the biggest thing is, as a person, there's influential people that people see success, and then there's impactful people. Coach Leach was an impactor. The people that were around him, that understood him, that know what he stood for and what he meant and how he did it, that's impact. And our coaching staff, 3 of them were coached by him. Obviously, everyone in Coug, Nation and our administration knew who Coach Leach was. And to hear the stories about impact, not just a head coach that influences people, but a guy that changed people's lives in a very meaningful way, that's what it means to me. And I didn't know Coach personally, but I do know this. He came here with a mindset, and he showed Cougs again that we can win. And we can do it the hard way. We can do it the tough way. We can be a little bit more grimy, and that's okay. And we can have fun doing it and be ourselves. I think that's what the Coug spirit represents. And our prayers go out to, obviously Coach Leach's family and everyone that knows him that are going through a tough time. But, I've just been hearing the positive, fun stories of Coach Leach, and that puts a smile on everyone's face. And I think that's how the man has had truly impacted this world, and football will never be the same without him.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks for this time here in Los Angeles. Good luck against the Fresno State Bulldogs here on ABC. First time in a while. Been on ABC with the way TV deals go. Been on Fox a lot. Been on big ones, but this is a lot of fun. First time in a while. It's the Cougs against a really, really good Mountain West team. And good luck against Jeff Tedford and these Bulldogs.
Thanks, Chaz. Go Cougs.
And little Billy and
Santa. I knew it. You are real. Shh. This is so cool. Can I see your sleigh?
No, I drive a Porsche now. Won it at Northern Quest's Upgrade Your Sleigh giveaway. Good timing, too. That sleigh's nearly 2,000 years old, almost out of warranty.
The Upgrade Your Sleigh Porsche giveaway at Northern Quest. Get 1 free entry daily. Play for even more. Details at northernquest.com.
When you play the lottery, you are supporting education across Washington, preschool and post-high school. You're providing opportunities to the leaders of tomorrow and a chance at higher learning for those wanting more. You're supporting ABCs and PhDs, priming the next finger paint proteges, and providing tuition for undergrad overachievers. We know today's spelling bee superstars and soon-to-be CEOs appreciate you, and we do too. Thanks for playing.
When you play, all of Washington wins. Must be 18 or older to purchase.
Hi, I'm Cody O'Connell.
Jay Recooper.
Hey, this is Dan Buchanan. You're listening to Washington State Football.
Washington State Football.
You're listening to the Washington State Sports Network. Go Cougs.
Imagine waking up in a place where spectacular views change every day, where unforgettable memories are made every night, and where the journey is far more fun than your destination. Now stop imagining and go RVing. Coach Walden here for my friends at Valley RV Supercenter in Kent, the Northwest premier Jayco dealer, the affordable RV dealer and proud sponsor of Cougar football. So whether it's a family weekend on the coast, a winter in the desert, or a tailgate party in the Palouse, your journey begins at ValleyRVSupercenter.com.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
Game here in Los Angeles in SoFi Stadium. Great to be with you along with Brinker and Jess Chaz for the ride with the second annual LA Bowl. Last year it was Utah State against Oregon State. And this year it's the Mountain West winning Fresno State Bulldogs, who have not lost since their fifth game of the year. They're trying to be the first team in the history of the sport to start 1-4 but win 10 games. And Jake Haener had a fractured ankle against USC in a game that Fresno State lost to the Trojans 45-17 in the Coliseum. Came back from that, and in 9 games this year is completing 72% of his passes with 18 touchdowns, and he's only thrown 3 picks all year.
Yeah, he's third in the country in the FBS in completion percentage, and it's kind of who he is as a player. I mean, he does have plus arm talent, but he's just so talented distributing the football with the accuracy. You know, he committed to UW out of high school, went to UW, and they ended up transferring because Jacob Eason won that job after he came out from Georgia. And so, you know, he ends up at Fresno State where he's got a long relationship with Jeff Tedford. You know, his dad went to school here. I mean, it was one of those things where, you know, this feels like home to him, right? And so he's, I think he's endeared himself certainly to the Fresno State faithful.
Former Coug head coach Jim Sweeney, who was on the Palouse for about 7 years, was a 19-year Fresno State head coach, won double-digit games a handful of times, is one of the best coaches in the history of Fresno State football. Well, his son Kevin is one of the best quarterbacks they've ever had. He quarterbacked in the 80s. Kevin Sweeney went to school with Jake Haener's dad. And Jake Haener's mom is a very prominent journalist. She's a Derek Dice of sorts in the Bay Area, if you will. She's one of the local journalists, and so there's a lot of, and she's known the Sweeneys and the Tedfords, and so there's a whole long line of connection between Jake Haener and Fresno State. And as wild as the transfer portal is, it's funny how things work out sometimes where Jake Haener, honestly, I don't want to say he should be a Bulldog, but it makes a lot of sense that he is.
Right. And, I don't want to be hyperbolic here, but, Jake Haener, for those that have not watched him play, he looks like Drew Brees. I mean, he's got a very similar stature about him, similar kind of mechanics and similar style of play. And so, whether he goes on to be a Hall of Famer or not, obviously is to be seen, but there's no doubt that he's going to be a guy that gets an opportunity to play at the highest level.
This year when the Cougs are in the red zone, it's brought to you by Northern Quest. Hopefully the Cougs can cash in like you can at Northern Quest with 24/7 Vegas-style gaming, millions in monthly jackpots, luxury rooms, and more, all in Spokane. NorthernQuest.com. We'll take a break. Pregame continues as Jimmy Kimmel, who has a really poor perspective and sense of style in logos at best. I think he's wildly confused as he is at the 50-yard line right now for the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. We'll take a break, come back. Pregame continues.
The Clearwater River Casino and Lodge proudly supports Washington State University Athletics, the premier venue for events and entertainment, located 4 miles east of Lewiston, Idaho. Come hit the jackpot with us, with over 600 gaming machines, saltwater pool, restaurant, and giant screens in the stadium sports bar. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce tribe, our hospitality is legendary. Stay, play, and get away with the Clearwater River Casino. Go Cougs!
Whenever I see somebody purchasing something with their WSU card, I always like to give them a Go Cougs. It brings me back to when I was in Pullman.
From the rolling hills of the Palouse to keys jingling before every kickoff, there's something special about being a Coug. That's why BECU created the WSU credit and debit cards. It's just one more way to show pride for a place we all call home. Grab your WSU card today. BECU, power in people. Membership required. Restrictions apply. Call 800-233-2328 for details about credit costs and terms. Federally insured by NCUA. Member compensated for participation.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
The true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids dealing with life-altering diagnoses. Team Impact pairs these kids with college athletic teams as part of a 2-year program, getting them off the sideline and into the game. The collegiate student-athletes gain a new teammate, a new friend, and a new perspective. For more information, visit teamimpact.org. Team Impact. All in, all together.
This is Cougar Football on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2022 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. By U.S. Bank. Life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank. Member FDIC. Barbasol Shaving Cream. Choose Barbasol Shaving Cream for a thick lather and close, comfortable shave. Barbasol, the American original for over 100 years. Better by Barbasol. And by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Earn bragging rights at Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. With more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest. Yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. It's game time on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Now, alongside 3-time All-Pac quarterback Alex Brink and veteran sideline reporter Jessamine McIntyre, here's the voice of the Cougs, Matt Chazanow.
We will send it back to the voice of the Cougs, Matt Chazanow, in just a moment. Luke Hallett back with you in the Learfield Network Studios, U.S. Bank Network Studios, as we get a quick look around college football and college basketball, starting with a couple of games on the gridiron today. Oregon State leading Florida 7-0, 9 minutes 50 seconds to play in the Las Vegas Bowl. Beavers looking for their third 10-win season in program history. Game that went final earlier, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, Louisville over Cincinnati 24-7. Cardinals finished the season 8-5. And as for the hardwood, a lot of top 25 matchups today. A game that just went final. 15th ranked Gonzaga takes down 4th ranked Alabama 100-90 in Birmingham, a neutral site game. Gonzaga a winner there. And a couple games in progress include 5th ranked Houston, 2nd ranked Virginia, 46-35. Houston on top of Virginia. We're just about ready for kickoff. Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. Washington State and Fresno State. We step aside, send it to Chaz, A.B., and Jess on the backside of this timeout. This is Washington State football from Learfield.
GISA Credit Union is a proud partner of WSU Athletics and the unofficial sponsor of Waving the Flag, Kickoff Keys, and Jaws Chants. And we couldn't be prouder to host Cougar Football Saturdays at GISA Field, where the old Crimson Faithful always find their way back home, and where you'll hear the 2 greatest words in the world echo across the field. Go Cougs. Get special offers and apply for a GISA WSU Athletics debit card at gisa.com/WSU.
The Clearwater River Casino and Lodge proudly supports Washington State University Athletics, the premier venue for events and entertainment, located 4 miles east of Lewiston, Idaho. Come hit the jackpot with us, with over 600 gaming machines, saltwater pool, restaurant, and giant screens in the Stadium Sports Bar. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe, our hospitality is legendary. Stay, play, and get away with the Clearwater River Casino. Go Cougs!
Washington State.
The ball is scooped up at the 20-yard line.
Fresno State.
Picked up by Hicks on the run of the 10, touchdown.
Kickoff is next.
Nom Nom, the stop that has your snack, now also has your app. Download the Nom Nom mobile app today for exclusive access to the sweetest promos, most craveable coupons, and the location of Nom Nom stores nearest to you. And when you download the app, you'll receive a free large Fruzy, the icy treat that'll thaw your thirst
And freeze your mind. Freeze your mind.
Nom Nom, life in the snack lane at participating Nom Nom stores.
As a locally owned family business, tradition is the core of Chipman & Taylor Chevrolet in Pullman. We know that every family has traditions, and when it comes to automotive, we want your traditions to start with us, the family at Chipman & Taylor Chevrolet. We are a different type of dealership, and we take pride in continuing what we were taught many years ago, to be honest, never pressure, and to treat our customers like our own family. It's just that simple at Chipman & Taylor Chevrolet in Pullman.
Under the bright lights of Hollywood.
He's gone at the 20. Nakia Watson, another touchdown. Blocking there, leaps forward, ball out, touchdown.
It's time to shine.
Finishing what I started is really important. We're just really excited to get out there one more time with everybody on this team and, finish out strong. And let's reestablish and let's go do this thing again is just so powerful for a team.
Litzazani's cross, ball comes free. Brennan Jackson blows up the play. Ward slings it left for Farrell. Catch, turns the corner, touchdown.
Cougs.
History at Washington State, only 14 teams have finished with 8 wins.
Bulldogs.
We want to be that 15th team. We don't want to get a participant ring. Those suck.
This is the LA Bowl.
Just a couple of minutes away before kickoff here in Los Angeles. It's the LA Bowl, SoFi Stadium. A touching scene as the Cougars ran out on the field in their all whites from head to toe, streaming their typical Coug flags, but also an addition was made to that ensemble, and there was a moment of silence. Jess, what's going on down there on the surface?
Well, Renard Bell was the one running out that flag, and as you could see if you were watching here at SoFi Stadium, the entire team took a knee together in the far end zone in honor of Coach Leach, and we did have quite a nice moment of silence. One moment is never enough to honor a coach who had a million of them throughout his impact, not only on this game but on the people here. I'm going to turn it over to the head referee right now.
It is our privilege to represent the Southeastern Conference. With me today, I have Mr. Jason Gannon of the LA Bowl, Mr. Ron Khrushchevsky of Stiefel, and Mr. Jimmy Kimmel.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
All right, Washington State, you are the visiting team. We will toss the coin. We'll use the SEC coin. The SEC logo is heads. The pinwheel with the 14 teams is tails. The coin will be tossed. It will be allowed to hit the ground. Whichever logo is facing up will be the winner. Mr. Khrushchevsky will toss the coin. Washington State, what is your choice? The choice by Washington State is tails. The choice is tails.
All right, how about let Mr. Kimmel do it?
Mr. Kimmel is going to toss our coin.
I'm referring to Mr. Kimmel.
Toss our coin, gentlemen.
Where did it go?
The choice is heads. Fresno State, you have won the toss. What is your choice?
Take the ball.
Fresno State wants to receive. Washington State, which way you want to kick? Turn your back over here. Turn your back over here. Washington State will kick off.
So, as you guys heard, Fresno State won the toss and they opted to receive the ball. Washington State will be kicking off to them, and we'll see the defensive squad to start out this Los Angeles Bowl. And There you go, little Jimmy Kimmel for you in the background there, performing the coin toss, fumbled the coin a little bit there. But it's a scene down here in Los Angeles, I can tell you that for sure.
Referee is Lee Hedrick. He mentioned he's part of this SEC crew for this ball game between the Pac and the Mountain West. It's the Mountain West winner against the Pac representative here in the second ever LA Bowl. The Cougs and the Fresno State Bulldogs. First time these two have met since early 90s when there was a 4-game series from 1987 to 1994. In AB, we've got less than a minute before kick. And you and me and Jess just got choked up a little bit as this team was running out onto the surface. They had the pirate flag. They had a moment of silence, and this largest video board you've ever seen had a solemn silhouette, a picture of Mike Leach, and a moment of silence for the 61 years of life so well lived by Coach.
Yeah, I tell you what, it obviously goes without saying that, Mike Leach changed football, not just college football, not just Texas Tech and Washington State and Mississippi State football, but he changed the game of football. And you can see that offensively across the entire NFL, high school ranks, you name it. But in the end, I feel privileged that we got to spend a little bit of time with him at Washington State on the Palouse. And there is no doubt that what he did at Washington State was change the trajectory of this program. And we are honored to be able to see it and honored that, we had the opportunity to be around him just a little bit.
I know Coach Leach would like a quick special teams tackle here, and then he'd like a pick six, and then he'd like to throw the ball 70 times.
Yep, and he's got one of his, a few of his proteges down here, Joel Filani being one of them, that's going to be part of this group calling plays.
All right, so here comes the kickoff for the LA Bowl. It is Colton Thieker to boot it off from